And, you know, if I lose to something like a King Jack offsuit, I have only myself to blame. Starting off, got a couple tables going. There's a 500 now right here in front of us where I actually got into a multi-way pot with Ace Jack and I'm facing a large bet. On the monotone board, this just has to be a fold. You need a heart or, you know, a 2-pair or something to defend against that. Yeah, looks like we're just going to be going multi-way here. Pocket sixes with the call, completing in the big blind. 8-8-3, I mean, that's not bad. It's not great. It's not bad. If we were just heads up here, I think there's ideas of check raising this. But just in this situation right here, gonna go ahead and click call. We're getting 5-1. We have a reasonable pair. What could possibly go wrong? Go ahead and check turn. I never think we're getting a ton out of God over here. And I have no data on this guy. I'm just gonna toss out this one. I don't think I want to be overbetting here. I think that's just too much. If I gave either player credit for having, you know, an aggressive river raise strategy, then, you know, small bet would be interesting too. I don't really know much about this guy other than I see him playing some 200, I see him playing some 500. I think we played together in the Snap games on Friday. Heads up on these king high boards, I am going to start with a bet. And so like pocket nines with a spade, I think just checks back here, just always turning this into a bluff, I think just kind of torches our equity a bit. Yeah. And there's some of our equity. So, I mean, I have the third nuts, villain bets, it's a call. Frankly, like when he uses this size, he's only repping the ace. Or the royal, which I mean is the same as the ace. And I feel like the ace is hard to have. You need to have like ace queen offsuit, or he'd need to be flatting the 3-bets with ace king or aces. Or just like other weird stuff. Either way, I think it's a call. 6-5, there we go. Oh, sure, yeah, 9-9-6 board. Pretty dry. We can just start this off with a bet. Should be fine. Maybe with like some ace queen stuff, we could consider going for check back, but I think this is just fine. And then do I value fold equity or just checking back here? I think I value the fold equity. We're going to keep going. Get raised, and like that's a little bit annoying, but I mean it's also a situation where we just click a call with the nut flush draw. I'm actually not thrilled that this is an 8. It'd be better if this was just like a king of spades. This is an auto call. We lose to full houses once in a while. He has bluffs once in a while. Always nice to see. Going for a little bit of an ISO here with an ace-3. Junked does decide to go for a call. And we get this multi-way pot on a 9-9-3, and I think I'm just kind of okay just taking a stab here with my pair of 3s. Get raised, which is kind of weird. I don't really think I want to have a 3-bet range here at all. So I think I'm just going to go call a whole bunch, and I think ace-3 is just like a very reasonable candidate to call. I block a good amount of value here, which is nice. He can still be raising things like, you know, pocket 5s, just kind of as a protection raise. So I'm going to go call and then potentially take some shoves over river, and hopefully he doesn't have the pocket 5s. So I want to see him bet like under 200 here. Yeah, there we go. I think this is just going to be a jam. Having the 3 against like the pocket 3s is, I think, just too good. And I mean, ideally, You know, I'd have like ace 3 offsuit with a ace of diamonds, but I mean, that's nonsense. We're never gonna have anything like that. Well, it's nice to not get snap called. Would have preferred a fold by now, though. Nah, he goes for the call. He goes for the call with trips. Wow. Okay. What is this 3-bet size? I don't know. We go to like 34 against this, maybe? Like, usually I'll do 2x, but 2x is just so small compared to what he's doing here. And I'll call. Alright, we're in a nice spot. Dodge 9. Sweet. Okay, meanwhile, I ISO'd this guy and then he led into me. And, I mean, the Jack 10 is just pretty nice. Even nicer now. I don't really know what he donk leads. I don't know. Guys, this is what I did on the 4 straight last hand with my 6 high. Okay, so I mean, like, I don't think he's that spewy, so this is probably just like 10x diamonds or the nuts a lot, and I'm gonna call it anyways, because you don't fold straights. Yeah. If it's 10x diamond, we have a shitload of equity. That's why. Low-key with the 3-bet, we can have some 4-bets here, we can have some calls. That's like a mid-roll, I think is going to result in a call. And okay, so good news, hit a queen. Bad news is that this is kind of a really good board for villain. I'd be surprised if he didn't bet here. And he does, and he takes, yeah, what's that, roughly a third? Not exactly a third, roughly a third. Go for the call. Heart comes in. He should have like a fairly hefty check frequency, not always, but fairly hefty check frequency. If he bets, if he bets like 33%, this is a really annoying spot. Okay, he doesn't. I think my ace queen has a significant amount of value on a check down line, and also does not have any reasonably good properties for turning itself into a bluff. So I'm just going to go with check. And there's actually another river card where we might see heavy checks from villain. We'll see. But I mean, here's the plan. Like, he goes for check, I go check back. He goes for this. I don't really think I should be folding this much. It's a spot where, like, he can go bigger with a lot of good hands. Could have gone bigger with those 9s. But frankly, had he gone bigger, I would have folded like exactly the ace queen no heart, so works out very well for him. I'll just kind of start small bet here. This is fine. I think it's also a texture we can go big bet on. And okay, so king jack flopped a gutter, king 10 though flopped the literal nuts, the straight. Starting with a bet here too. Really, man. Alright guys, we got it in ahead and we hold. Got this spot over here. Cherry raised, I flat. Japarok comes along as well. And I mean, honestly, that's not a bad board for pocket 6s. I'm just going to start off with a small bet here. I think that's fine. Also think we're absolutely getting called by ace highs, at least from Cherry. It's pretty risky for big blind to have like check calls with aces. But guys, the fun part, the reason that I'm talking about aces is sometimes things get fun when a 5 peels and I get to have a 6 high straight against some other players' 5 high straights. No check raise from Japarok, which, I mean, honestly, like, it could be some 2-pair stuff, but like in this situation, you want to check raise straights and sets like so much. How do I capitalize on that? Because I don't think 6s wants to get put into like a giant bet range here. So I'm actually going to go for the check back here. I think I'm actually ahead a lot, unless he banked a 3. Not always. I think I'm ahead a lot, and I'm just looking to like snap off a river bet. I don't think I can actually push it that hard on turn. Pot for value. Yeah, okay, just half pot for value seems okay. I mean, like, if he goes for a check raise, I will be incredibly tempted to call. Not even because I say, like, you know, oh, hey, I have 2 6s, I'm blocking straights and stuff like that. I just think people play really straightforward on flops. And so, I mean, here, like, I'm concerned about the 3. That's it. But I'm going to go ahead and call this one because I think there can be some spazzes in here. Just like, you know, a king 5 suited. Which, frankly, like a king 5 suited wouldn't be a spaz. It just seems like a reasonable raise. But I feel like with the way that this played out, I'm potentially inducing a few extra raises. And he had the 7-5, which means if a 6 came, that would have been a little bit nasty. Well, let's pop over here. I defended my blind with king 6. You can 3-bet king 6 a lot pre, but I don't think it's a pure. So, went for the flat this time. Flop 2 pair. And Mr. Tanqueray, considering his options. And he goes small. Top and bottom, like, I think typically isn't check raised that much. So, like, I'll roll for a check raise here, but we're going to need a high number. We're going to go call. Hate the turn. I mean, honestly, I hate most turns, but yeah, just hate the turn, brings in a variety of straights. And I don't know if people really merge this spot like as much as they should, because I do well against merges. I think we can kind of go like this. I think I like betting as opposed to checking. King Queen is a concern. Like, this isn't a range bet board, so I'm not really expecting many pocket queens, especially after he kind of like tank bets on the flop. So as long as we dodge the King Queen in here, we're doing lovely, and looks like we do. Yep, let's start off the bet. Ace Jack, top pair, top kicker. It's great. What's my note on Muck? He's done some weird things before, right? Yeah, okay. I'm just gonna go for overbet turn with the intent to check back river. I don't think we ever get to go crazy on a board like this, like double pot plus. It's just kind of, I don't know, pretty good for BB. If he goes for the check raise here, I assume it's just an auto fold. Which might not be auto-fold in theory, but like in practice, probably fine. And now, even though I've improved to 2 pair, I'm still just checking this back. Flush comes in, he has a bunch of flushes. I just get to beat low 2 pair at showdown, which frankly, like if I triple barrel this, there's a reasonable chance he just folds 7-8 or 7-5, like those kind of hands. So yeah, take the check back here. We beat the Jack 10. Cool. He had pair plus gutter. We beat it. Okay, I'll just start small bet here against Pashu Pashu. Not really. You'd think I know how Pashu Pashu plays by now. I don't know, he's like aggressive-ish. Yeah, maybe a little. I don't know. I'm gonna go for the check turn. I think it's a nice spot to check some top pairs here. I'm not afraid of the straight at all. I assume the straight raises flop like 90% of the time. But I got a pair, I got a draw. Oh. I think we just keep checking on that. All his like 7s and like under pairs and stuff are counterfeit, by the way. We're really hoping to get a bet there. Okay, so like when he bets 3/4 on the turn, I don't think he's polar to the point where he's just betting like a 9 or better, which means that he could just kind of have a bunch of jacks, and if he can kind of have a bunch of jacks, then I don't think I get a lead range. I could be wrong about that, but that's just kind of what I'm going with. And he... come on, man. Come on. Why are you checking back 8 high? He raises to 60. He hasn't been raising here for 50 hands. He's raising to 60. I'm just going to shove here and assume I'm going to get called a ton. Like, maybe not all the time, but I assume I'm going to get called a ton for, was this, like, 67 blinds. This absolutely is not a thing, by the way. Can we hold? Hold? Yes, there we go. We get the hold, we get a nice big pot, and we get the tier 1 sub from a Figaro2 coming in on the 3-month streak. Thank you so much, Figaro2. Welcome back to the bank. Okay, wait, hold on. This guy, like, spews hard, right? So I'm just flatting this. Yes. Which, for the size that he took, I don't actually think is a thing. Just flat here. Flush. Sure. I mean, here's the thing, like, if he's going check, he's not in spew mode, right? Let's just go small here for value. I mean, maybe he goes check raise for spew mode. I'm still going for value here 100% of the time. It's kind of scary, I'm not gonna lie. Spooky, even. And, you know, if I lose to something like a King-Jack offsuit, I have only myself to blame. If I lose to an Ace-10, I have only myself to blame. But I mean, that being said, we got into an incredibly high EV spot where Villain had 2 outs. And I mean, if he hits, he hits. So Finkel goes for the raise. We're a little bit deeper, still gonna stick with the 60 sizing here. At this stack depth, I assume he's never gonna jam, but I mean, he might 4-bet some stuff. Why? Why are we doing this? So I'm gonna start with a check. Villain's gonna bet 1/3. And I think that's just fine, and I'm gonna call. Right? The deuce is fun. So I want to see him go like 150 on turn. 145, close enough. And I mean, I think I'm going to take my kings, like kings and queens. Honestly, jacks 2 probably, like with no club in hand. I'm just going to check rip them here. Which occasionally gets me into hot water. We have far from the nuts, but that's okay. Yeah, I think that's just happening. And we want either a tank call or a fold. We don't want the snap call. Okay, actually, wait, hold on. Pop over here at this stack depth. I think I'm shoving my ace king always. So even at 100 BB stack depth, I think from these positions, we're like shoving ace king offs always. Oh, this is the second time I've ran into this exact ace king off into aces all in pre. It's the second time today. It's so rude. All right, so let's get back here. Got a queen 10 against the Papa Boy 3-bet. Gonna start off with a call. Got a bit of money behind, and I don't actually feel too strongly about this. I'm gonna check back. Check back or bet. That's a fine river. And then I'm gonna go ahead and assume he's not gonna have like over triple pot, just rip. I think I can have 3/4 here. And that's just kind of fine. If he goes for the check raise all in, I think something like the ace 10 is probably like negative. I think ace 10 would just like snap call. Let's find a 2-pair here against Gus. And so like when he's raising in MP, this isn't a board he's gonna have that much on. Still against the like 1.5 times pot overbet, I don't actually do a lot of raising. Is there any reason to raise this? I mean, there is a reason to raise this. I'll stick with the call. Does he have jack 8? Probably not. Does he have 8-6? No. Is he going to do this with pocket nines? 10-9, no. So that nine's pretty much a blank. And I block a few sets. It's double pot. He bet half pot on flop, so I don't actually think pocket sevens are a thing. So I think like having 3-5 here would be better. Yeah, I don't know. Just hoping to dodge a few sets. That's a set. And it makes sense because, you know, the value range for that size is a set. There is nothing else, it's just sets. The bluff range is occasionally other stuff, though. I like the one with the diamonds better, just because I'm on the button. We could have some flatting, we could have some 3-betting. Can go flat. Top pair, top kicker, that's great. So villain should check range to me here. And he does, and I should bet 1/3. And we'll see where this takes us. He goes for the check raise. I mean, it's fine. He's able to do that quite a bit. He has a lot of really nice hands. Ace-9 is just a super easy peel. I don't think we ever go to war here with the Ace-9. I'm going to call that. I'm also going to slice over here where other Ace-9 is just jamming. Okay, yeah, we'll go for the call. Okay, so straight gets there. Flush gets there. Random overcards with a 10 gets there. That last one isn't, you know, a huge concern, but I mean, it is something that's going to beat me once in a while. Maybe he has something like, you know, Jack 10 of clubs. This is going to be a check back every single time. I'm going to have some pairs that I'm turning into bluffs, probably things like 6-5s. Oh, that's kind of interesting. So straight gets there, flush gets there, the board is paired. I think this is a non-all-in raise like every time. And he has the ability to shove over me, but I mean, if he does that, I'll just fold. I'll hate it, but I'll fold. Oh, he does that with the flush, okay. Play a few hands of heads up here against Bull Kanye. He sat and he's willing to play, which I wish he would have sat like an hour or two ago. Because I'm ending my session very soon, I don't really want to get into a heads up match. But, I mean, I flop 2 pair. That 9 is, I don't know, it's a little bit dangerous. I assume he has, like... I assume he doesn't have a bunch of, like, suited straights. There's definitely offsuit combos, though. Let's keep going. Getting check raise here kind of sucks. Okay, so like if I go for the 3rd barrel here, I am trying to get called by single pair hands, or a worse 2 pair, though that's really hard to have. And with the 3 of straight, 3 to a flush, I think I'm just going to go check back. Win a lot at showdown, but certainly not always. Alright, let's slide this over here. Alright, so here's the day, guys. We'll call that minus 900. We actually played a ton of 500 today, which was awesome. Ran into pocket aces at 500 all-in pre-flop twice, and then got set over to paired for, I don't know, I want to say it was like 120 BBs or something. So, I mean, I think that's like most of these drops here. Actually, the last one was a straight over straight. So lots of really, really brutal spots at 500 today, and like not even down 2 buy-ins. Cool. I'll take it.